everyone, this is Amanda from Simple Life of a Frugal Wife, and today I thought I'd give you a tour of my frugal fridge. Now if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to do that. You can do that by clicking the button below, and let's get into the video. So I always talk about saving money in the kitchen, and so I thought today I would show you how I save money in the kitchen inside my fridge, with what I make, with what I buy, and how I save money that way. Now, you'll notice the outside of my fridge is covered in drawings and fingerprints. I used to be one of those moms who had the nice, clean fridge, but my kids are growing up, and I realized that I'm not always going to have their artwork on my fridge, and so now we cover it. I do want to point out these drawings because my kids learned them from a channel on YouTube called Art for Kids Hub. So if you have kids and they want to learn to draw, definitely check out that channel because it is amazing. It's really helpful for kids to learn how to draw. I also have some Mother's Day cards because it just happened Mother's Day. But you also notice up here I have some coupons. Now I'm not huge on coupons. I don't buy a lot of foods that have coupons out there because I don't buy a whole lot of packaged foods. However, every once in a while I find a good coupon for something I do buy or I am interested in trying, and so I stick it on the fridge so I know where it is. But because I don't use a lot of coupons, I don't need a whole book to sort them. I'm in Canada as well, and Canadians unfortunately don't have access to as many coupons as if you were in the US. So let's take a look into the fridge. Okay, so let's go in the fridge. So I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I just cleaned the fridge, so that's why it looks so nice and organized and clean. It actually probably still doesn't look as organized as some people's because that's not my strength, but it's good for us. So I'll start over here in the doorway. So first we have our jams, homemade jams, and as you notice there's quite a few bottles because we have a bad habit of opening one bottle and one jar before we've moved on to the next, but it works for us. We have homemade relish, so these are things that I no longer buy. Over here I have fermented carrots, which are really good for your gut. I've got a kefir starter. I've got a probiotic, so you may see a theme here of gut health, which I'm trying to incorporate more in our home. I've got rennet for making cheese, for, now that we have dairy goats, and then I've got homemade salad dressing. Down here, just in case you thought we were completely healthy, that is so not the case. Those are all our condiments, especially at this time of year. We eat a lot of burgers and hot dogs on the barbecue. But this here actually is, so my kids really wanted sub sauce for their sandwiches, and it's a little more expensive, and I discovered that Italian dressing is very similar to sub sauce, and so I just bought the cheaper Italian dressing, blended it up a little because it did have some chunks in it, so that it would go through the nozzle, and then I put it in this bottle, and my kids put that on their sandwich, and that's their sub sauce, so that's worked really well. Over here we have our lemon and lime juice. Generally we buy cilantro fresh in the produce section, but every once in a while, because we live in a small town, we may not be able to find something at our local store that we need, and so we have some bottled cilantro, and then we have our soy sauce, and I am not even going to pretend I can pronounce the name of that, but we use that to season stews and soups and sauces. And then down here we have our maple syrup we harvested from our own trees this year. We only have 6 maple trees, so it doesn't give us a whole lot, but it will cover us for a few months, and it just was a really fun experience anyways, and maple syrup is not cheap, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got strawberry sauce, which again, not good for you, but good on a Sunday. And then I have my fish sauce for when I make kimchi, which again is another great food for gut health. So over here we have, so I've got lots and lots of milk because we have our dairy goats, and I'll be turning that into mozzarella later today, so I will be able to get through that stash. Here is some homemade yogurt, and in the back is my sourdough starter that I use to bake bread and stuff. some more lime juice, and then I've got whey from the last time I made cheese, and I just use that whey for either fermenting things or sometimes I give it to the animals, things like that. I'm always looking for ideas of how to use my whey, so if you have an awesome idea of how to use it, please leave it in the comments below, because when I make mozzarella, I have so much whey. And then I have some strawberries and blueberries because they were on sale this week, and then I have orange juice. Now, we generally don't buy juice, we usually just drink water, but the juice was on sale this week, and so decided to grab some as a treat. And then we have our mayonnaise because my whole family loves them, it on sandwiches. And then we have our cream cheese and sour cream because I've yet to figure out how to make that from goat milk. I don't know if I can. And then in the middle, that is goat yogurt because I needed a starter to make my goat milk yogurt over here. You'll notice a lot of these yellow labels in my fridge, and this is the No Name brand here in Canada. I use this to save money. I find that it tastes really good, and it's a lot cheaper than the brand name food. So a lot of my products are no name. In here is just meats, bacon, hot dogs, cheese. Oh, I guess I should show you. Point the camera in the right direction. Yeah, so bacon, hot dogs again. You can see got the yellow labels, and some cheese for grilled cheese. Lunch meats. We eat a lot of sandwiches here. They're easy, they're fast, and then we can just get on with our day with homeschooling and whatnot. And then my husband needs them for work every day because he does not have access to heating up food. So sandwiches work well for us. Got leftovers, just chicken nuggets. I'm going to close the fridge for 1 second because that beeping is telling me the fridge has been open too long. There we go. There we go, no more beeping. Okay, so the chicken nuggets, I used to never buy packaged food like that, like the frozen food, but I've learned to give myself a little grace because life is busy and we eat a lot of meals from scratch, and so I don't feel guilty anymore if we buy a box of chicken nuggets. So chicken nuggets or chicken strips we do eat here. I have the quinoa, leftover quinoa. In the back I've got homemade pickles, some olives, homemade red pepper jelly, and so as you see I make a lot of things from scratch, or I can things to save money. And then I have my all-natural peanut butter that I eat for myself. That's just a little healthier than the sugary stuff. Got some dill, homemade sauce. There's homemade salsa back there, some lemons and some feta. As you see, you can really make a lot from scratch, even on a small property if you start gardening. And obviously with the jams and stuff, I can't grow those berries, but it's cheaper for me to go berry picking and then can it from the farm and use that all year. So down here I have some leftover lasagna from the other night. We have our eggs from our chickens, and then I got some leeks, and then in here it's my produce, we eat a lot of produce, so it's stuffed pretty well. Cucumbers are always nice and cheap, tomatoes, carrots. The dragon fruit was actually on sale and my daughter really wanted to try it, so I have to actually Google how to even eat that and cut that, but I'll be doing that later. We've got kiwis and zucchini. A lot of the stuff, the produce that we buy on sale. This yellow bag here, we have produce here that is sold as, it's called something imperfect, and it's just vegetables and fruit that doesn't look as good. So they sell it at a cheaper price. So I've been buying those. They taste just the same. They work just the same, so it's great. Then I've got cabbage, lettuce, broccoli, green onions, I think, down there. I'm sure there's a better way to store produce to make it last longer, but I haven't looked too much into that. We go through it pretty quickly, so I don't worry too much about it. And that is pretty much what is in my frugal fridge. So I hope you got some ideas and some tips by looking into my fridge and seeing what I buy and what I don't and what I make. your frugal fridge is going to look different than mine because your family more than likely eats different foods than mine. But there's always ways that you can save money, and so I encourage you to try out some new ideas next time you go to the grocery store, or to make some things on your own that will help you save money, and that way it can help you just to stay within budget and save some money so that you have that money for other expenses that you may need to cover. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, and thanks for watching.